Hi, I'm Madonna Simmons and I'm a board member of the Townsville Chamber of Commerce. And today we have yet another episode of our Chamber Chats. And I have Anna Gianolis from Malpara Florists. Welcome, Anna.
Good morning, Madonna.
So Anna is a small business that has been trading through the COVID over the last many weeks, and we're going to talk today exactly what she's done as a florist and in an industry of floristry in respect to the COVID, a small business, her staff, and any other changes that good or bad, and we're going to talk about that. So Anna, let's talk about a few months. So you've
These
had,
last few months, yes.
as a florist, you've had many different things happen over the last few months. So firstly, you had Valentine's Day. How did Valentine's Day go?
Valentine's Day went very well, as it was just before we knew that COVID was happening. And then I think a week later, it all came to light and things started to happen quite rapidly after that. The first few weeks, I would say, there was that scare factor and everybody sort of went to ground, and we were constantly listening to our politicians in regards to what was going to happen. And then once that settled down, we found that our website just went quite ballistic, in that the only way people could communicate, or one way people could communicate with their families once lockdown started, was to send flowers, especially when they couldn't celebrate, special birthdays and anniversaries and births of babies.
So you actually had an online business to start
Our
with.
online business has kept us going. It's a very good online business with quite easy to use, and people being at home more.
So you developed that over some time. So what you used, I've looked at your website, and basically you've really got some good photography in there. You've got a good shopping system as well. It looks like that you do a lot of online promotions as well, both in all the social media spaces. Mm-hmm. So you had that to start with.
We had that to start with, and that's how it held us in extremely good stead through this time. So I think if anyone's got a good website then and a good product to sell, then they would probably have done okay through these times.
So when COVID hit, and we knew that you're an event-based business as well, so whether it be Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Anzac Day, we saw you on the news with Anzac Day, so you were really clever in thinking outside the box. Yes. Pardon the pun.
Yes,
but
we had to. Yes.
You did Anzac Day in a box where people could actually do it at home.
That's correct, yes. So we had to think about different ways in which we could engage the community and stay in business and keep selling our flowers. Yes.
All right, so Mother's Day. Normally we see you all around Townsville on every corner in Mother's Day and people pulling in. So how did that affect Mother's Day? How did the different shopping systems affect you?
So obviously the shopping system was fine. Our biggest hurdle was accessing enough fresh flower product to help us through this time.
So your supply chains. Why the supply chains? Talk about that.
No airlines for a start. It played a big part in all of this. So I had to find other means to bring up our flowers. Organising road transport. Refrigerated road transport, which takes much longer to get to Townsville from cities like Melbourne and Sydney. And Brisbane. Brisbane's not so bad, but Melbourne, where a lot of our product comes from. That's been a real effort. Not only the planes, but also the supply. So because these major suppliers also were not importing flowers into the country, the Australian product had to be shared amongst all of us.
Of course. So you're saying that florists normally import from
not florists themselves, but the
wholesalers.
Major wholesalers.
Okay. Yep.
bring in flowers, whether
different types of flowers that they don't get in Australia.
That's correct. Or to top up what's grown in Australia. So therefore, the 70% grown in Australia had to be, I'm just estimating there, shared out between all
the
of us.
florists.
So therefore, there was a major shortage, especially around Mother's Day when there's higher demand.
So how did you do on Mother's Day with that?
So we fared not too badly, though we probably sold out at 9:30 Sunday morning. So there were some very sad people out there.
Wow, yeah.
And some not so empathetic with us, but there wasn't much we could do about it. As you know, we had to ensure that we were able to make and supply and deliver the flowers that were pre-ordered.
And also
for our clients,
the best product you possibly could, knowing
correct,
that your supply chains were affected. So you had a good Mother's Day?
We had an excellent Mother's Day.
Oh, well done. You had a good Anzac Day?
And a good Anzac Day.
So another stream of your business is the wedding industry. So we've had many brides that probably had bookings with you, and have they cancelled or postponed?
In the first few weeks, every bride that I had for this year made contact with me, and most of them have deferred to next year. One or two have cancelled totally, have decided to do something on a much smaller scale. So we lost all our wedding events and other events that were booked in for the year. I do have a couple at the end of October, November. But other than that, yes, this year has been a non-event year. Yeah.
So from the floristry side of the business, and then you move into the event side of the business being weddings, and your gifts side of the business, how's that been going? So I see that you do sell a lot of gifts here.
Yes.
And at your Willow store?
Yes, I think over the lockdown times, rather than people go into a shopping centre where most of the stores were closed, they'd pop in here and pick up a candle or something else, hampers, chocolates, that sort of thing.
So you've been able to keep your staff busy?
Our staff have been busy. Initially the roster was cut drastically.
And the phones are ringing, I can hear?
Yes. However, that didn't last very long, and as I said, the delivery side of our business has kept us going. Yes.
So have you been on JobKeeper, or any of your staff been on JobKeeper?
No, we have not met that criteria.
Okay.
Which is very,
well, that's a fortunate thing, really, isn't it?
Fortunate.
That's great. That's really good. And I think there's good news in it for everyone, that it's okay to be okay. You know,
when you're not feeling guilty, it's okay to be okay. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So some people have actually been feeling a little bit guilty, and we talked about that in our first episode of Chamber Chats, that if they have done well, they've got this almost like this, feeling like I shouldn't be doing well in this time.
Absolutely. And I have family, sisters that are all in business in Australia. And they haven't fared nearly so well. They've had to go with JobKeeper and 30% down and all that sort of stuff. So, when we get together and chat, it has been a little bit like.
But I suppose what I think is a positive out of that, Anna, is that you actually can give them some tips about what you've done to pivot your business, and moving forward. I think all of us have learnt so much, and if anything, it's given us time to work on our business, rather than in it and treadling every single day.
Yes, exactly.
So how do you see the future looking for Malpara Florist?
I still see it as a bright future. I think that we'll all get through this COVID and people will rebuild, and we just need to all support each other locally as much as we can. So
that's another thing that Chamber is really wanting to get this message out, is about going local. I think what it's taught everyone is that the only people that we really can depend on is the local chain. I mean, yes, we do have the need to get supply chains outside, we get that, but if we all support each other locally, we keep local jobs and we keep the businesses going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Support local wherever you can. Yeah.
So thank you today, Anna. Thank you for joining us on the
Madonna.
Chamber Chats. And if you do have any questions about this, make sure you shoot us an email or on any of our social media streams. We'd really love to answer any of the questions. And I know that Anna and the team at Mulpara Florist, or any florist in our city, will be waiting for your call for the next event that has anything to do with floristry. Thank you.
Thank you.